Hey guys, this is just heads up. This is Ronnie. Before you guys check out, we had a great episode with Georgia Warder, but I made a factual error about the show Mad Men. Elizabeth Moss's character actually gives the baby up for an adoption, and I just forgot, and I said she did something else with the baby. So I just wanted to get ahead of this before any of the Mad Men heads come after me. Okay, I watched the show. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, enjoy the show, and please rate, review, and subscribe for Christ's sake.
Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. This is the Skullet podcast. Put your hands together for our amazing guest we have, Georgia Warder, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for doing the podcast.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I'm glad I woke up before 3 p.m. today to
Hell
get
yeah.
on this podcast.
Have you been sleeping in?
Oh, yeah. I've
Yeah?
been letting myself sleep as much as I want to the last week, and then
Yeah.
I'll get it together next week.
That's good. You got to give yourself a time of a rumspringer for good habits.
Oh, yes. Yeah. You got to let it loose every once in a while. you
Yeah.
know? We're all a little tense right now, you know.
It is a little tense. I was actually in DC this weekend. I was just like, let's just try out these half thought out post-election jokes, and everyone was just like, no, just talk about grapefruits or whatever. They were really, all the mundane stuff was doing very well.
Yeah. I think Tyler, the creator, dropping Chromatopia right before it has saved me. So that's
hell
all
yeah.
I'm listening to this week. Nothing political yet. Just Tyler, the creator.
I wasn't even aware that Tyler or Tim, were you aware that Tyler the Creator just dropped a?
I was. Everyone said it's his best album potentially right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, over Igor.
Yeah.
It's that or Igor, they say.
Well, what makes it so great?
I haven't listened to it.
It's just great. I mean, I liked Igor because Igor hit my life at the perfect time where I was like emotionally there. That would be another thing Tim's mom would diagnose me with, is severe attachment issues. That's what Igor's for.
Oh yeah.
But Chromatopia is like, I don't know, it's themed, like the transitions through it are fucking seamless. It's awesome. I was like walking dogs while listening to it the first day, and I kept having to check my phone to see if it was on a new song because it's that like seamless. But yeah, it's just great. It's like, although every other song is like the rawest thing about his life, and then him just goofing off for a track. So it's fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Huh.
It's a good listen.
I was thinking, like, I remember like when Kanye's Graduation came out, it was like the perfect time as well. So, you know, we're of a different generation, Georgia. You know, I'm an old man. I felt very old at these fucking shows in DC. I was like, "Urgh." Especially now that I have a Skullet, I look like an old man shaking my fist at the sky. What do you think of the Skullet, by the way?
Oh, I like the development. It's doing well. Yeah. I always check in with you every time I see you on how's the length. Are we there? Are we getting? I almost brought you biotin, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually, yeah. Please, I will follow up with you on that if that is a
Perfect.
genuine thing.
Yeah.
Because we're doing different hair care stuff. You know, the latest thing is I've just been using more product now. You know,
Oh, I see.
I've got the beard cream. We talked it over last week with Chris Nakis about how, you know, I don't really see texture. You know, I'm using beard cream in the hair,
Right.
and now I'm just I'm fully looking like a stepdad. I feel like.
Yeah. It's giving stepdad, and as it grows out, it'll be stepdad with a garage where no women are allowed.
like a man cave or
Yes,
like
a man cave, but like specifically, I'm describing my dad. That's what I'm describing. It was always a garage. Man cave implies that you have an extra room in your house.
Yeah.
This is not that. This is just separate garage that you inherited for like $25, and that's where that's what Skullet gives to me.
So hold on, I'm not familiar with this garage culture. You're familiar with this too? Like it's an extra garage that's not a part of the house?
Yeah. My dad had one growing up, and he would just like pop over. And
How far away is this garage?
It was like small town, but it was like across town. So it was like
Across
5,
town
10
garage?
minutes. Yeah. It was right next to the church where I would go to church. Yep.
What was he doing in there?
Well, I would guess drugs. I would guess that.
Yeah?
But, you know, don't watch this, Dad. It was only weed. But yeah, no, that was his like chill spot. Sometimes I would get to go over, I assume, on nights when that wasn't happening. But he likes to work on cars, so he would just
Oh.
chill there, work on things, hang out with his buddies.
It's important for men to have a private space. That's what I've
Yeah.
always said.
Especially now.
Especially now. I think
While all of the women are mad at you, you need a bunker. That's a direct threat from me.
we need Hell yeah. No, I we're building bunkers, baby. All right.
Yeah, it's time to bunker down. The lesbians are mad. Yeah. No, I literally told my roommate I was getting ready to come here, and I was like, I need to remind myself I like Ronnie. I like Ronnie. I like Tim. I'm good with everybody here. However, there's just a little piece of me that's just angry at everyone right now.
Yeah.
So yeah. It makes for great podcast content.
No, it actually
Just
does. We love going on a
threatening.
rant. Let's do it. Let's go viral right now. Go talking to the mic right now and tell us how angry you are at your father.
Oh boy. Well, it all started. No, I did find my old baby book the other day, and I want to know the level of pettiness my mom had. That it has a section where it's like baby's first sentence, and she chose to write "Daddy gone."
No.
Was my first sentence. It was
What?
in the garage, It's
It's kind of dark.
yeah, but it's dark. But here's the thing. My mom could have redacted that at some point. She could have not been that petty, but she went for it, and I support it now.
Your baby book looks like a CIA release document.
It's just like, "Nah,
redacted,
we don't
redacted.
need that. There's other things in there that need redacted." But
She was mad at your father, you think, when she
probably.
Yeah?
No, yeah, for sure. But I'm trying not to be. My dad's a big Trump guy.
Mhm.
However, he's in West Virginia, so it's not like
Didn't really matter.
didn't really
It was
sway
gonna go.
anybody.
It was gonna go that way anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I am glad the election texts are done. I'm happy
That is
with
nice.
that.
Yeah.
But there was a
Silver
piece-
lining for sure.
Yeah. Now I get the texts that are like, "You must sign this petition now."
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I'm not ready for those yet. So
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was like, is this how in the next 4 years am I going to do? Am I going to be part of this or just completely, just disconnect completely?
yeah, things are different in my life now. So I'm trying to remind myself of that because I was in college the first time he got elected. So I had nothing to do but be angry.
Right.
And now my life is so different. I mean, I walk dogs and do comedy.
Mhm.
So I full days where you don't have time to sit there and read and be angry.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, you are a dog walker.
Mhm.
There's a lot of great comics started out being dog walkers. You know that.
Yeah. You were the first encouraging note that
Oh, yeah?
I heard when I started walking dogs.
You
were
gotta
like,
do
"You
it. You
gotta
gotta do it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I mean, I've like genuinely lost weight from it just because you just start exercising.
Constantly.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
How are your
yeah.
steps? You ever check out your steps afterwards? Be like, this is how many steps I did.
Oh, I don't check steps, but I do have an app that checks my miles.
Oh, wow.
So I make sure that I have a minimum of 15 a week.
Okay.
And then on weeks where I hit 20 or above, I'm allowed to go get fast food.
Good for you.
So,
All right. No
yeah.
deals with yourself.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
This past week, it was a 15-mile week, and I still ate
Fuck yeah, I
my
know.
fast food. But
I was all last week. I was in, like I said, I was in Maryland, just me and the dogs, and it's been, I guess it was fine. But I was walking dogs for hours all day, just doing constantly. And by the way, I don't know if you've been in a hot tub lately, but it is. My parents got a hot tub. This shit is incredible.
yeah.
It's
the best. I'll be honest. My dad has one. I'll forgive him for the sake of soaking in a hot tub.
you
in
got to
the
do
woods.
it. You got to do
Yeah.
it. That's the difference. That's why like we are the polar opposite here of Joe Rogan. He's doing ice baths. We're doing hot tubs. Okay.
Yes,
We gotta do it.
relax.
Yeah.
Okay, all those ice baths are just too much. Relax, everybody. We're in the hot tub movement.
I don't know that we will release this part, but I've been on the the hot tub. We live in the suburbs or whatever, but I've been going at nighttime.
Mhm.
End of the day with a nice with a hot tub, and I sleep really well. But I've been finding this thing too. Where I'm like, why do I constantly have these my gym shorts on? I would go to the gym shorts and I'm like, oh, it's wet. I got to dry them out. So I for the last few days I've just been going,
Yeah.
totally naked.
Yeah.
And it's been great. You know, it's been great, and I thought it was the perfect crime. You know, but I didn't realize until I looked over and there has been a camera the entire my stepdad has installed a night vision camera.
Night vision.
And,
Perfect.
I found that out the very last night, and I'm like, God damn it. I was like so happy with it. And then I'm just like, I am fucking God. He's gonna come back from Mexico and be like, poor K. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, you just gotta round out the footage with you just dumping a little extra chlorine in there, and you're just like, yeah, it's the same thing. We're
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
Yeah.
It is the same thing. Make that clear. It's the same thing.
What's that?
Shorts and naked.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I don't even care that it's whatever. It's the water. It's my butt on water in a thing. But it's more or less just like it is the act of being towel. I would just go out just completely, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I have an important question. Do they have a bidet? Because if they do, it really is no different. But
No, they're not. No, they're also Trump people. They do not have a bidet. Okay.
I love that. We should invest in bidets and just start the movement of bidets are the secret calling card of a non-Trump person.
The
in
liberal
Trump's
dog
Ameri-
whistle?
Yes,
Liberal
dog
dog whistle?
Bidet?
whistle. is the
Honestly,
bidet.
that's how you change hearts and minds. I think. You
yes.
get a bidet, and then afterwards, you're like, you know what, immigrants.
You said that a little weird.
What do you mean?
You know what, immigrants?
No, I'm just saying. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not so bad.
I
you
mean,
know?
it's like early sobriety / like Jordan Peterson rules, like make your bed, wash your butthole, you know, and
Yeah.
then things gradually get better.
Yeah.
Sure.
The 13th rule for life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True. Gotta have a bidet. Press the button. It'll change your life. Me and Michaela, we eat meats all the time.
Ordering chaos.
I
you-
do love that Jordan Peterson is like lightly a piece of people in sobriety like to push that a lot.
Mm.
And then I love to tell them that he got off of benzos by just having them put him in a coma a medically induced coma. And I'm like, yeah, no wonder he's the beacon of sobriety. He had the money to do that. Like,
Oh.
yes, make your bed, but you don't have to, that doesn't have to be cited by Jordan Peterson. He's not the first person to say that to you. Your mom was like,
Yeah. Yeah, make your bed, but also you gotta get him out, move him around every once in a while because you're in a medically induced coma. You're gonna get bed sores.
Make your bed. Make your bed or get in a coma in one. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Dude, that'd be sick. I would love to be in a coma, medically induced coma. That's actually Jim and I have been talking about goals specifically for this podcast. But you know what? Reverse goals. What was it? Reverse goal what? Reverse goal.
That's the end of it.
It's just called reverse goals?
Let me check. Yeah, I think so.
Whatever. This is
You told me
we've gone to a grinding halt. I watched 2 YouTube videos and I'm like, Tim, we're getting a whiteboard. And no, but that's what I want to get on a medically induced coma. And then we got to go peel back the layers of like, okay, we got to do this all, tiny little SMART goals, SMART, it's a whole thing, acronym. And then it's measurable. So like, how do I do and ultimately until I'm 2 months just fucking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been trying to do a non-medically induced coma with the amount of fast food I've been eating this week.
Oh, yeah. Do you get
Yeah.
the sores in your mouth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I also, another thing that's picked up is like, I eat jalapenos on everything when I'm
Mhm.
like the least bit down. And I have been slamming jalapenos this week. It's ridiculous. Like, we went to Condados the other day. Shout out, sponsor me. No, I'm kidding. You're fine. But I asked them for like extra jalapenos in the queso, and they did not deliver. And so I demanded more.
Oh,
I
you
did.
did.
I
Yeah.
was like, I only want spicy foods
Huh.
when I'm the least bit sad. I don't know. That's it.
It's it actually helps make your food more memorable.
Yeah. I wonder if you could feed a person who's in a medically induced coma, like jalapeno, like just run them around their mouth while they're out
Oh yeah.
just to see when you wake up, you're like, oh my God, something went wrong. Add that to your goals.
All right, that's part. Well, that's the thing. Anybody can just do whatever they want to me if I'm in a medically induced coma.
Yeah.
Uh,
They can
what-
make you clean that hot tub.
Oh God.
Just toss you in. You still want to do the hot tub while you're in a medically induced
I
coma?
do actually. It's nice. You treat yourself.
Yeah.
Tim looked at us weird, and specifically when I said the sores in your mouth because it's so salty, Tim.
I've
Yeah.
never. I ate a lot of fast food.
But you hydrate or something? What's up?
I didn't know you got. I've never heard that. And just the way that you're both like on board. You get the sores in your mouth. She's like, yeah. I'm just like,
Do you want to educate this man?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, are those specifically canker sores? If
Something
there's
like that,
There's
yeah.
some kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
I swear I get them from vapes too. Like if you get like a bad vape, like one of those like gas station ones where you're like, this
Mm.
probably isn't. This is the one that gives you cancer. But
the mouth sores are probably who you're sharing the vape with more than the vape, if I had to guess.
fair enough. I did end up with mono recently.
Did you
so,
really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was awful. First of all, I was at my friend's wedding and I was like, okay, I feel kind of crappy, but we're going to power through. We've been
Yeah.
friends since we were 4. Next day I wake up and I'm like, okay, I have strep throat. I have to have strep throat. So I go to the doctor and he's like, you have strep and mono.
Ooh.
And like I had the neck of a linebacker. It was crazy because
Huh.
your lymph nodes swell.
Yeah.
And apparently your spleen also swells and your liver. So I just had like no room left in my body for a whole week. I kept saying I like look like one of those kids on the commercials that has like the distended bellies.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, like I just laid on my couch and slept for like 16 hours a day. It was crazy. My cat loved it.
Was it
But-
nice did you like sleeping that much?
It was a nice superpower, to be
Mm.
honest, because I could literally at any point in the first like 2 weeks, I could just sleep at any moment. Like if I was horizontal or not, I could just be like, all right, knocking out. And you were never like, I don't know, there wasn't like a lay awake time
Right.
for that. But yeah, it was wild.
Huh.
I think the doctor judged me a little bit. He was like, you're 28 and have mono, so he must not have been real cool when you were younger. You know, most people.
He's
Had
getting on you for not getting
Yeah.
it sooner.
Right? I was like, I was in the closet, bitch. Like,
Oh, fuck. Yeah, come
wasn't
on.
gonna get it. But he told me that it's people that work in bars if you get it as an adult. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you got it from somebody at a bar? You made out with somebody at a bar? Or
I
you're
didn't.
sharing that
That's
vapor?
the other thing. I haven't had human contact in so long.
Oh my God. Well,
I
this
just
podcast comes out
apparently-
next week, so just let
Yeah.
us know. Or
Yeah,
talk,
yeah.
talk.
Lesbians talk to me.
Yeah?
It's gone now. I'm not contagious anymore. But yeah, no, he said that somebody just must have been talking at a bar at the same time and it's saliva. So
Oh man.
yeah. Yeah. It was pretty brutal. But
So you didn't get any mono at West Virginia University?
no, surprisingly, I should have. I
That's like the
really
party
should
school.
have. Yeah. Yeah. We were, but honestly, if you're drinking enough Everclear, nothing's surviving that.
Ooh,
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the key ingredient to all of our jungle juices.
Oh God.
Was you do 2 handles of Everclear. I think it was 3 limeade Burnett's bottles. Have
Yeah.
you ever had Burnett's? That's disgusting. Then you'd put in Kool-Aid powders
Uh-huh.
because you don't have to add water. You can just have alcohol. And then you do a
Oh.
couple of Sprites, and that's your jungle juice.
It sounds kinda
So,
nice,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, it was a nice lemon lime. Our lemon lime was the most popular back then, but yeah, WVU was nuts.
I mean, I just knew someone that went to WVU, and like the whole reason she went was because it was like the biggest party school. And
Yeah, I went for the marching band, but yeah, they were also huge partiers.
I heard that they
so-
were. It's a great marching band, though.
Yeah, yeah, but we had the cool, fun director that had heart when I started, and then at the end there was a guy who took over, and he was awful,
Mhm.
but he didn't like understand like the spirit of the whole thing, you know? Like there was like this energy of like, you know, you get to keep the uniform for 4 years and you pass it on and it's a whole big family thing. And that guy was just an a-hole, and yeah, he kind of killed some of the culture, I think, of it. I don't know how it is now, but
Mm.
we had like a shit ton of traditions and all of that. But I don't know. There's one lady who is in the marching band that's been in it. God, how many years? She's like 60.
Really, what's she studying?
Well, she used to take just enough classes
No,
every year
no
to
way.
stay in the marching
No way,
band.
no
and they
way.
finally, like
Oh,
right
no.
before I got there, they gave her a pass to
Yeah.
like, because they were like, you've spent so much money.
Yeah.
Like you have had to have spent so much money to do this. But yeah, we called her grandma, and she like,
Did you like her?
yeah, she was
Okay.
cool as shit. Yeah, she was a fun. Oh, you want to talk about? She was a party herself.
She would come to your parties?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Whoa.
She was the one that what was it? We went on a trip to Dallas for a bowl game and we had to fly out. And I didn't know it was going to be like a private airline, so I didn't pack alcohol for the trip. Everybody else that like had talked to grandma knew you could fill up your airport bottles with vodka. So half the plane was drunk and I was wrong for not having asked grandma what to do. So
Wait, how old is this woman?
what is she now? She's probably 60 something.
And she's been in it since she's like what, like 18?
Yeah.
Has there been like a documentary about her? Or anything?
They featured her once on like ESPN or something.
There's got to be more than this. This is crazy.
Yeah. She's
She just what instrument does she play?
trumpet.
Oh, I picture her as being a viola person. Wow, that's really interesting. And she parties like she's in college and
Yeah, I mean she's a little calmer, I think.
Yeah.
In like the older age, like she would always make sure people were like taken care of too. Like it wasn't
Gotcha.
like she was like pushing anyone
Mhm.
to drink, but she would drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a little party. Some of the craziest life stories I have are from that marching band, but
Meet the Pride's grandma, 40 years in the making. Dawn West finds community in the Mountaineer Band. Wow, she looks great for being in there for 40 years.
yeah.
And yeah, trumpet.
And you have to like run as part of that band. Like we have like a thing called the 220 where it's for how many beats per minute and you high step run on with your instruments onto the field, which is really cool because then you're running out of a tunnel to like 60,000 people for your pregame. So it's very cool. But she can do it. And like honestly, there were times in college where I don't know that I could do it. So
Oh wow.
yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, we're learning some stuff about
There you
WVU there, Timmy.
We are. Oh, I don't know what that was.
Jesus Christ.
It's this drink, dude. That's messing with me.
Tim's been trying to get me
Yeah.
to drink nootropics before every podcast. He wants me to be high energy and stuff. And I'm just like, it's the thing about, the thing about Tim is he's like a producer, but really, honestly, he's more like a dance mom, And it's like, he's living out his dream of being a podcast, a struggling podcast host. And he's just like, so I just got to drink nootropics and I don't even want to grow a skullet, but he forces me to.
It's okay, JoJo. It's going to be all right.
Thank you.
If he's a dance mom, you're JoJo Siwa.
I gotta start somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're doing Honey Boo Boo over here.
Superimpose my face on Honey Boo Boo, please. And that
Please,
is-
can that be the
actually,
thumbnail
that
for
that
this?
should be the thumbnail. And then Tim, you actually don't need to do anything. You just look like that lady.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Georgia, what got you started in how'd you get started in stand up? Because I think I remember maybe your first open mic or early ones anyway.
Yeah. So I started actually in Denver officially.
Never mind, I was not there for that one.
But you probably saw like me starting in Pittsburgh though.
Sure, yeah.
So in Denver, it was pre-pandemic. I did one open mic at, I think it was called like Voodoo or something. It shut down since the pandemic, but I did a set there and then I got a corporate job and I did not go back to do comedy for like 6 months. And then there was a period of time right before the pandemic where I started going regularly. And then my best set out there where I thought I had made it, I was like, some lady bought me a drink. I'm crushing it, you know? Then the pandemic hit. That was on a Wednesday, and that Friday, everything shut down.
Wow.
So then I moved back here, started here, but I don't know what got me into it. I was a little psychopath. I told my parents when I was a kid that I wanted to do stand up.
Okay.
And my mom told me that one of my parents had to die first. Because she said you need real trauma. She was like, you have two
Whoa.
parents. So, as a good mom, she then disowned me for being gay for a year. So I got to
wow.
feel what it was like to lose a parent.
Huh.
It was actually a long-term stage mom move. For
That is
her. It
wow,
was-
dude.
yeah.
She knew what was necessary to push you. That's actually, I don't know. I'm gonna say it. Your mom sounds like a wonderful person.
Oh, she is. She is. She did a whole Christian 12-step program to accept me back into her life, and then she was cool.
Oh,
And
wow.
she's made up for it. We're going on a cruise in 2 weeks. Like,
Oh,
she's
that's
cool.
great. Where are you
We're
going?
good now. The Bahamas.
Does she need anybody to house sit? I heard she has a hot tub.
Oh boy, not her. That's my parents split, as
Oh,
you could
okay.
tell by the daddy gone pettiness in the
Mm.
baby book.
I wasn't
So,
sure if they were still together, and that would just
no,
like
actually,
the
I came
tension.
out at the same time my parents were getting divorced.
Great timing.
So it was that's why I say when things are better this time around. So Trump got elected, 2016. In 2015, I came out, got disowned, and my parents got divorced. So things are better, I'm gonna handle it better this time. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, but all of that probably was I remember that year being so insane, like its own like movie, truthfully, like the amount of plot there that I was like, I gotta do stand up. That's it, So that's how I ended up doing it.
Well, over here, I was telling Tim beforehand, but from when I saw you to now, you've improved faster than I've ever seen anybody really improve.
Well, thank you.
It's
I
been
appreciate
pretty
that.
sick
I
to
no, I
watch.
genuinely appreciate that. I feel like I just don't do anything else,
Yeah.
honestly. But I've slowly learned though. So my first year, so I've always had like goals in comedy. My first year was like minimum of 4 mics a week. I have to touch the microphone as much as humanly possible. And I would go anytime there was an open microphone. And then the second year, I think it was like, okay, now that I know what like a half decent 10 is, because I like got married to my set early on because I was like, this is passable, even though most of the time I lose people 3 minutes in. Like I wanted to like improve the actual joke writing. And that was the year of all the roasts. So I like learned how to do like a really structured joke through that. And then this year's been like, all right, let's do some longer sets. So I think that's helped. Like I've been really loving doing like 20s lately.
Yeah.
They're like super fun. I did one 2 weeks ago that was in pure Trump country. Like on the way in, I passed, what was it? A side-by-side sales place, a trailer park, and a Dollar General. And I was like, I'm going to be fine. Like, these people are going to be totally, like, they're not going to feel great that I'm gay, but they're also going to remember that I'm from West Virginia. So, like, we still have common ground here. And it ended up being super fun. Like, super fun. But, yeah. But I appreciate the compliment. I don't know. I just touch the mic as much as I can, I think.
Well, what do you? So, you were like the roast, like the roast show here, and you were like your roast champion.
Yeah. I'm a real bitch.
Is that like what goes into like in roast jokes? Like what do you like? How do you approach a subject? Like, say somebody, I don't know, let's just say Tim. Like, how would you roast? What would you see about like what would you do? And or the Skullet, go for it.
Well, typically what I would do is I would first watch Tucker Carlson get mad at all men. And then I sit down with their bio and I lay out all the facts that I think I can use. And I just stare at it. And I remember being mad at my parents. And then I'm like, how do I make them laugh about their own thing? And I don't know. I like to, how do I say it? I like themes for my roast jokes. So the way it was structured, it was like you do 4 or 5 jokes for the person. So I would find one thing about them and just hammer that 4 times. And, sometimes they would get offended. My bad. But I don't know. You just piece them apart. My family's love language was roasting though, growing up. So like, I personally love roasts. Like I love being roasted. I like if you can make me laugh and like get a little twinge of ow. Okay. I didn't even know that. Like I love that. So maybe that's the energy I bring.
Do you remember any particular roast about you that you're like, oh, that was like really good?
Yeah. Zevon in the very first roast, we were the first 2 to go. And he did one about like, what was it? It was like Georgia loves to say in her set that she eats pussy, but we all know that like it doesn't count if it's just you masturbating next to a Wendy's cup. Like, and that was just perfect to me because he knew how messy my room was. Like, I don't know. It was just like so good. That and Trevor Austin once said that I only eat pussy if it's deep fried. And I was like, that's also fair. So they were hammering the fast food back then, but I'm healthier now.
Yeah, healthier now, but all this it sounds like this all would fit last week.
Yeah, except for last week. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of roasts that I've been a
But-
part of. Did you ever feel bad about it? Because I've done roasts and I'm like the things that I remember is not really so much like things that people said to me, but the ones that I said that aren't funny, just mean. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that would just like it just I don't know. It was like a foul ball. I'm like, oh, like they're gonna remember this, maybe who knows? But I just
Yeah, so I had one like that, like one that I remember being like, all right, that was probably the line, my bad. And I always just go to the person afterwards and
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, like totally understand if you're upset right now. I never mean for this to be like I didn't need to throw that extra tag on, like that kind of a thing.
yeah.
And I feel like usually people, if they sign up for a roast, like know what they're in for, you know? Because like honestly, I ended up with some of like the worst kinds of roasts early on. Like in the early rounds, they would put me against like somebody who was very new in comedy. And I ended up feeling bad and talking to them afterwards because sometimes people cross the line and they're like so scared of you. Cause like I am an angry lesbian. Like we all are aware of that. But like I get it. If you're 2 months into comedy, like you're trying to write what you think a roast joke is, and that I
Yeah.
never let that get to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd have to calm them down. I remember Seth Queen specifically ran to the back of the room and he was like, "I'm so sorry," and I was like, "Queen, it's fine. You're good. You're good, buddy.
He's such
You
a sweet.
fully
he's just a
crossed the
s-
line, but you were so well intentioned and you've only been kind to me, so we're fine. And I beat you, so that helped."
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Roasts are delicate. Like they're an interesting thing. I want to do more like character roasts these days
Mhm.
because I don't like the risk of like pissing people off. Because I like people. I don't want to actually hurt them, but a little ribbing never hurt. You know.
I'm also annoyed too after I do a roast because you spend so much time on it and then afterwards you can't use any of it. And I'm like, I spent a fucking week thinking about you, you know? And I'm just
That
like,
is-
oh God, what a waste of my time, you know?
That was part of towards the end of last year where I was like, I did every single roast. Every time they told me I wouldn't have to do another one, I would
Mm.
end up winning.
Keep dragging you back
And
in. Yeah.
yeah. And then I'd have to do the next one. And I felt like my set, I don't know, it didn't get hurt by it, but I wasn't adding to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also so early on in comedy that I was like, well, we'll go ahead and just keep doing the writing exercises for now. And then this year I've added a bunch to my set because like, I don't know, I've had the time, I guess. Or at least it feels like it. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a weird place now where I had stuff that really was very specifically pre-election stuff, and then it's like now I can't fucking do it, and it's like it was cooking, and I was so happy with it, and it's just boom, you know, and I don't know what, and I'm just upset. So this is just me complaining. Maybe I'll just get back into roasting. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, Trump era. Just don't
Trump
add
era, just
anything to
fucking
your
do
set.
it,
We're all
yeah.
just being mean to each other.
No, I think I'm just gonna go back into character. I used to do a character. I don't know if you remember Chase Freely, but
Yes,
I
my
think I'm just-
favorite.
yeah.
Everybody.
Well, he was
Chase is great.
he was created during the first Trump presidency. It's and in the second, I just haven't really fucked with him, and I think he's coming back, baby.
Oh, yeah, he's got to.
Yeah.
Chase Freely is our hope
Look
in
out!
this time of need.
Look out! There's a new special coming out. It's gonna be called. It's gonna be in the YMCA locker room. We're calling it Locker Room Talk, and we will have
Perfect.
naked men in it. So getting dressed
Amazing.
and stuff.
Amazing. The
Well-
only time I've ever said amazing to naked men.
We're gonna be filming it in your father's garage, actually. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's so messy.
you've been watching anything? You've been watching any TV, movies, or anything?
I started watching Hacks recently.
how you like
have
it?
Have you seen it? It's
I'm familiar with it, but I haven't watched it.
okay. It's I think it's loosely based on Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
And it has been so nice because it's like almost like inspiring to write because I've been like a little iffy like the last couple of weeks with the election, but it's very good. I highly recommend. The main character in it, she's such a bitch and I love her.
Yeah.
I love her for it. Like it's perfect. But yeah, that's all I have. I watched Handmaid's Tale this year
Oh, you're getting
for
ready.
the 5th time through.
5th time, huh?
Yeah. Let's see what Tim's mom has to say about that one, because that's my comfort show.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know how it ends.
No, they still haven't released, although the next season comes out next year. So it's gonna hit so hard.
Oh wow.
I feel like they just wrote out they delayed because of the writer's strike, but they had already taken so long to get back into it with the pandemic that it's been like forever since they released a season. And I feel like they were just hanging on at this point just in case Trump won, because
Were they based on the? I mean, Margaret Atwood. Did she have the books? She had read the books already, yeah.
Yeah. It's just one book, actually.
Oh, and then, okay.
Yeah, so the whole first season is the book and how the book ends. So that was infuriating because I watched it when it came out and I was like looking for you didn't know what was going to happen
Yeah.
for the next season. And it was like the craziest thing ever. But you can see where even if you just watch that first season, like how impactful that individual book was. But yeah, I like it. There are seasons where I'm like, all right, Elizabeth Moss, calm down. Like for a Scientologist, she really has a lot to say about toxic religion, which is interesting. But yeah, I think it was like the 3rd season where they started doing these individual backstory episodes, which you need if you're going to build a show based on a book. But I just kept being like, all right, quit zooming in on their face. We get it. They won an Emmy for this episode. Like it gets a little different in the middle there, but they kind of find it in the later seasons.
Were you a Mad Men fan?
I tried to start watching that show, but then it felt way too light because every time I watch Handmaid's Tale, I want to watch Mad Men after it. And then you're like, all right, hit her or something. I don't know. Which I don't encourage. It's just what I want out of my media, apparently, to remind me to be grateful.
How far did you get in it?
I think like the first season. I think.
I mean, she does have a bit of a more abortion in the fucking show too.
Oh, okay. I'm in.
So
Never mind. I'm back.
All right. So check it out. Please check it out. If you haven't seen it yet, it's Mad Men and it's fucking good. Oh man. Do you go to movies at all?
Yes.
Have you seen any of the movies out? Because maybe like The Substance and or Anora.
Okay. I haven't. I've heard about The Substance and I do want to go see it because it seems very
fucking rules. Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah. And I haven't heard of Anora at all. I don't know.
Anora's great. Same guy that directed Florida Project and Red Rocket.
Okay.
So good. Basically, it's like a sex worker falls in love with an oligarch's son, and he basically they get married. You know, kind of like they get married in Vegas, and then it's like for the first hour, it's just like boof, boof, party, and then suddenly it's like, wait, you married who? And then they get their fucking mobster guys to come in and like it's like they call it like a modern day Cinderella story, but it's just like sex, drugs, rock and roll, and it's pretty great.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
I did go. The last movie I saw was what was it? Saturday Night.
How'd you like that?
It was good. It was what I expected. I expected like a 90-minute funny panic attack because it is like the 90 minutes leading up to the first episode of SNL. And I went and saw it with like a couple of comics, which was nice because it was like a bunch of Gen X people. Like my parents would love that movie. We were big on SNL growing up. But the row of comics, I mean, like Zevon was like cracking beers that he had snuck in, and I was actively vaping in the theater. And I was like, yeah, this is for the comics too. But it leaves you with like this sense of like you want to go right. Like I think I'm adding that to like my motivation watches for sure. Yeah. Do you keep those? Do you ever like have like, I don't know, like things you watch when you need like a pregame speech or something? Like
yeah, I mean there's like certain songs, you know, like there's a Tom Petty song that I called Rhino Skin that I listened to constantly before I recorded a special, and it's basically it's the Smart Man's I Won't Back Down. You know, everyone knows I Won't Back Down, but you got to get to the B side. This is it's better. And then And then I also, it's like, it's Whiplash. I just watch Whiplash constantly.
Nice.
You're a Whiplash fan?
I have seen it, I think, once, but it's
I've heard it compared that it's like that it's the male version of A Devil Wears Prada.
oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I've watched that Devil Wears Prada is one of my like when I worked in corporate world, I would
Yeah.
come home and watch that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a comfort. Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right. There we go. Bridging a divide.
that's exactly right. Look at this. Here, we're doing a lot of things on the Skullet podcast. Okay, we're growing
Yeah.
out our hair and we're growing our network.
I think they want to do a Devil Wears Prada too, and I
Oh,
don't
really?
like that. Yeah, that's I leave it. It was great. Like in the era of like sequels we don't need and remakes we don't need. Like just go do something else original. I don't know.
I'm blanking on the name. Who are the stars?
It was
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway, Streep,
Meryl.
Meryl Streep.
but-
Yes.
Anne Hathaway's brother used to do comedy.
Oh, really?
And I used to run a show, and his brother came out. He performed on the show, and Anne Hathaway's mother and father were there. And boy, oh boy, did I ham it up for them. I was hosting the show, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna do 20, and I just did 20, and I did really well, I think. But I was filthy. I was fucking filthy, and they didn't say anything to me afterwards. They're just like, why are we going to this sticky little back room in fucking Bushwick? And to watch their son has since quit. So I don't know what's that to say, but I don't. Tom Hathaway is a very nice guy. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
You seem scared.
I do seem scared. I don't know
yeah,
why. I'm just like,
yeah,
why am
you're
I just gonna
like-
trash this guy for no reason? But
Yeah, no. I hate whenever you like go to do a set and you think it's gonna be clean, and then you get to the end and you're like, oh my god, that was filthy. Like,
yeah.
even my newest bit is like, it's clean. It's technically clean. I don't have to cuss in it ever.
Yeah.
But it is about getting a Brazilian, so
Yeah.
it's inherently. Although for some reason, rural people love that. They're like, we don't have a European wax center here. That's hilarious, little lady. Like, I don't get it, but they love it. I thought they were going to hate it, all
Really?
of them. I was like, this is a gross bit. Like, it's fully like I hate saying it, but it's like a lady my pussy bit, which people say is like a trope, but also dudes talk about their dicks all the time. But I thought that they were all going to turn off to it. They love it. They literally love it. And then there's always some like lady who laughs too hard in the middle of a rural room, and I can like call her out in front of her neighbors, and that's always fun. And like, she does it.
Hey, there's a reason why waxing is just inherently funny. Like 40-Year-Old Virgin was a huge hit.
Yeah.
One of the last huge comedy hits, and I think it's because we just love, like, it's inherently funny. It's like, it's painful. It's the Schadenfreude. People love that.
Yeah. People. Yeah. I keep doing it for some reason. I got mono immediately after it.
Oh, really? You think it's where it came from?
No.
Oh.
I just think God's not a fan of gay people. That's for sure. Not this one. But yeah, that was the biggest irony in the world, was like getting that done and being like, all right, yeah, we can go back out and date and everything else. So that it was just like mono, and it's pretty good.
Hey. I just thought of a dirty joke.
Also,
and I'm not gonna-
lesbians don't care, for the record. So
They don't
I
care
didn't
about
really
mono?
need to.
Oh.
No, yeah. I was gonna put me mono as Sue mono on my dating app, but no, it wasn't gonna work. I did try to download a dating app while I had mono, and I was like, oh well, now this is depressing because I can't like even really go on dates with you guys, and
You can get
the
to know them for 14 days.
you can, but also if the chemistry is there, then it gets weird, if you're like, hey, I gotta disclose that I have mono.
Yeah.
But
I was telling Tim a story that this made me think of, but now that I'm starting, and I'm like, I'm wishing I didn't, but I remember meeting.
You don't have to continue. You just
All right, that's great. There we go. Anyway, this is the Skullet podcast, and I started growing this hair, as you're aware, and I started growing this hair. I saw a movie. It was called Love Lies Bleeding, and Ed Harris had a skeleton, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. I'm going to create this, and it started out as a goof, but as I keep growing it more and more, I see it as kind of like an act of rebellion. So I'm curious if there's anything in your life that you started out like, maybe it was like a people in your life are like, maybe you shouldn't do this. You didn't, but in your head, you're like, you know what? I got to.
Oh yeah, getting a Brazilian, and also it did feel like a weird like. I at first I was like, am I doing this for non-feminist things? And I was like, no, I want to do this because I want to do this.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
fuck you. Like I can do what I want. But also every 6 years or so, 5 or 6 years, I just get an itch and I just shave my head. It's like a thing.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I every time I do that, it's a fun social experiment into like people just getting mad for no reason.
Huh.
Like last year when I did the big shave, I like every comic, I don't want to say every comic, but most comics that were dudes over the age of 35 were mad.
Oh.
Like personally offended by
Huh.
it. And they were like, why would you do that to yourself? And I'm like, because I wanted to. That's it. It's not for like I don't know. I don't know if it's a reminder of like it's not for you kind of a thing, or if I just really get tired of my bathroom drain clogging, the shower drain. But
I can relate now.
that's probably my active rebellion. To be honest, I thought about it this week. I was like, and then today I was like, the Skullet podcast, I could just show up with a shaved head.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, we could actually do it right now. We have the technology.
But I was like, I'll give my mom a couple normal, like not normal, but like nice long hair pictures for her to put on her wall from this cruise, and then we'll see what we're doing. But
So when you do you feel like a shift when do you feel like you're a different person in a certain way when you're shaved like that? I'm talking about your hair, the top of your head. No, we are talking about the Brazilian.
Actually, the Brazilian. Okay, circling back. I was giving my friend like a pep talk speech one day, and I was like thinking in terms of, so my grandma's been sick lately, and I've been thinking about all these things she taught me. Like she was like, get an education. It's one thing they can never take away from you. Like even if they revoke the piece of paper, you have the knowledge. And I was giving my friend this hype speech, and I was like, you know what? No matter what they do or say to you, like they can never unwax your butthole. And like, there's a confidence to that is like, yeah, screw you.
Right.
Like there's a weird, that one. Yeah. You're also never more aware that your butthole exists than driving away from the waxing center. It's the craziest thing in the world. Cause like you just involved wax and a bit of that. And then you're like, oh God, this is completely different. But yeah, not as much the second time, but the first time you will know, you will just be aware. It's like whenever people remind you that your nose is in the periphery of your vision.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of that, but for your butthole. Like you just are aware it's there. But
so the second time wasn't as much.
No, it was super easy. They tell you when you go get it done, they're like, the first time's definitely the worst time. And a lot of people don't go back, is what I've learned from that bit. Because lots of women will be like, yeah, I got it done one time. And I'm like, no, now if you did it once, go back again. It's not that bad. Like the second time. But
is that something is this like part of your life now?
Oh yeah. I've fully committed to the lifestyle as long as I have that much money every month.
How much is a wax?
It's like, what is it? Like $60 once a month. But you can do like other things. Like you can do like packages or whatever. That's what my roommate does. Sorry, Jeff. That's her dad. But yeah, you just $60 once a month, and then you're usually there, and they're like, "You want to throw on eyebrows for fun?" And then
Did you do it?
No, not last time, because I think I had a show that evening, and my eyebrows, if they wax them, my whole face just gets like red.
Yeah, sensitive skin.
Very ginger. But anyway, when I shave my head, I kind of feel the same.
I'm going back to the butthole. Sorry. I was past it, but now I'm more and more interested in this waxing. So I don't actually have a follow-up question.
I do think that more men should go get their balls waxed just once. And I want you to get just your balls waxed. I want one comic to go do this and report back to me.
I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same.
Maybe not.
I just think there's too much give.
Yeah. There are 2 strips in a Brazilian that you're like, oh, I'm questioning why I did this to myself. But then you forget about it by the time you're driving away
Yeah.
from the waxing center, and you're like, oh yeah, I could do that once a month. But there's 2.
I remember I was going to ask the lasers. How much is a laser?
It's so expensive.
Really?
Like thousands of dollars, I'm pretty sure.
Because I remember thinking about it just hypothetically, but then I was just like, you know what? What if there's a nuclear holocaust? I'm going to miss that hair.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't grow back like normally either when you get a wax done, for the record.
It's different
Like
colored?
Or yes and no, but it's like it does. Some of it just won't grow back because you like damage the follicles. It's like, but like, and it was funny. The waxer lady, when she was telling me this, she was like, well, we're like really damaging everything. And that's why it does this. But that's what they do with laser. You know, they just damage all the follicles so they never work again.
So I have a theory that the reason I lost my hair was that I blow dried it too much.
Yep.
Like a dandelion kind of thing.
I mean, it was, at the time I was like, it's worth the risk, baby. You know, I had to flop
Yeah.
it. I was very floppish, you know.
You were just aggressive with the soap, you know, or, you know, genetics.
No one's bald in my family.
Really?
I'm the first one.
Really?
No, my grandfather.
Yeah.
is.
Okay. You know what's funny? My aunt, when I was a baby, my mom like sent me over for her to watch me, and I had like super red hair as a baby, and my aunt gave me like a bath, and somehow like all of my hair came out.
No.
And so then I was like a bald baby for a long time, but they always like gave her so much shit. They were like, you almost made Georgia bald.
Wow.
Like that was all on you.
Huh.
But, so maybe you did. Maybe you just rinsed a little too hard.
Maybe. I don't know.
Did you see that Bill Burr did a bald guy skit on SNL?
No.
Yeah, there's a whole
bald thing?
whole bald anthem.
Well,
now.
oh, it's a song.
Yes.
Well, I don't claim that anymore. I've cured it completely. So I'm a Skullet guy, you know.
Yeah.
Wait till you're on SNL, and then there'll be a Skullet anthem.
Think
Yeah.
so? There's already 2 Skullet anthems.
That's true.
Yeah.
Called AI and
The AI one, and also my friend AM has one. So yeah, he made a theme song for the podcast.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Well, Georgia, thanks so much for doing the pod. We really do appreciate it. You did it last minute. I've been traveling so much, so it's been, you know, this is going to come out pretty quickly. So, any place, any shows coming up that maybe anything you want to plug?
Let me think. Just follow me on Instagram at Georgia Warder. I post all of my upcoming shows on the highlights at the top of my profile. Or you can find some of them on Facebook when my mom texts me and says, "Where are you performing? I'm upset." And then I share them to Facebook.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Please check out Georgia. Incredible writer, great comic. Really always, every time I see him, I'm like, God damn, I got to write more. So appreciate you doing the pod. This is the Skullet Podcast. Please rate, review, subscribe. Seriously, give us a review. It really does help us out, you know? Come on. Fucking do it. All right? If you leave us a review, I'm going to send you a sticker. That's what I'll do. And a personalized note. I'll do it. Seriously. Georgia, leave us a review, okay?
Of course. You all have upset Ronnie, and now I'm upset with you.
Seriously.
So leave the review.
Yeah. I mean, what are you doing to me, okay? Isn't it enough I'm growing a goddamn Skullet for you people, okay? I'm not doing it for myself. I'm mostly doing it because Tim won't let me leave. This is part of the rent agreement that we made. So it's kind of
in the lease, guys.
It's in the lease. So seriously, also, anybody have we've had Brad Wenzel as the background of this for a long time, and I kind of only sort of know him. So I'm really going to be nervous when I see him again. Please, a comic, send us a record, because this is it's getting more and more like, I've had like 5 conversations with this guy. All right. Anyway, this is the Skullet Podcast. Remember, folks, not all growth is good, but just leave it in the back of your head.
Oh yeah.